C-Fan Sports, the sports show that is dedicated to the Seattle sports fans. My name is Dave. This is Kevin. Kevin, how are you doing? August 8th, 2021.
Well, I'm doing better today than I was doing yesterday. So
yeah, I can understand that because I think we may have turned things around just a little bit, and we came out of the Bronx with a win today.
We needed that win.
We definitely needed that win.
Yep.
Kevin, so speaking of wins that we need, guys, what we could use from you guys is a win and subscriptions. Make sure that you please subscribe down below. Leave some comments, leave questions, give thumbs up, give thumbs down. Kevin, that would be awesome. I know Kevin says no every time. Make sure you turn on those notifications so that you see when we post a video, so that you can make sure that you have the most up-to-date video that we put out on either the stream or on YouTube, because we are streaming on all platforms. Thank you, Kevin.
Well, podcast is finally up on Apple Podcasts. So there we go. We're good to go.
If you type in C-Fan Sports, you'll find us. Download that podcast. That way, when you're at the gym, jogging away, which is what I start tomorrow, because I'm starting on my new fitness regime, back getting in the thinnest of possible shapes for the big guy. That's what we're hoping to do. So with all that being said, we got all that out of the way. Kevin, last week I kind of went on a rant, kind of got a little upset, kind of, my nasal passages were flaring, because I was upset with Mariner fans. Yep. Because we were too hard on Jerry Dipoto, and now we're another week past the trade, and we have some more concrete reasons why that trade was good for the Mariners, even though we've seen a little bit of a little 4-game skid there. We're still in this playoff race, and that's what I kind of want to talk about today, Kevin, is why are the Mariners still sticking around this wild card race, making it competitive till the end? First of all, Kevin, I think those trades were necessary to put us in position.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
I think that Abraham Toro has shown his merit as a hitter and his glove in the field. I think that, you and I talked previously about the double play ball not being as crisp, but I honestly think that it takes a while for a second baseman and a shortstop to get that continuity down so that those double plays are turned very quickly. And I think that we're going to see that come together better in the upcoming games.
Right. But
Kevin, one of the things that you have brought to my attention is we take all of the good trades that everybody was happy about or not happy about, but the throw-in guy. And you got some stats on Joe Smith. You told me you're really starting to like what Joe Smith is bringing to the team. Kevin, tell me and tell our fine folks out there in the whole wide world, even in France, got some guys looking to France. Tell us why that's such a good idea, or why that trade or Joe Smith has been so effective for us so far.
Joe Smith has always been normally a quality pitcher. Very good in the bullpen. I've always hated playing against him. He is a clubhouse leader and a guy that can teach these young guys how to play ball, how to throw, how to do whatever they need to do. And the education and the leadership role that he brings is second to none. Now, Graveman was probably in the same position. We know he was a clubhouse guy. But all Joe Smith's done since he's been called up, or since the trade, he's pitched 4 and a third inning with 1 hit ball, no runs, 1 hold, no walks, nothing. I mean, that's pretty solid in my opinion for a throw-in guy. So I'm extremely happy with this throw-in guy.
Yeah, he's really brought a lot so far to the pitching staff as a whole. And Kevin, I think that over this last few days, and we had some rough time in the Bronx.
Yep.
That final game in Tampa Bay got away from us, but we were in every game. Yeah. And I think that we were in every game due to our pitching. Kevin, I know that you had kind of put together. So who was our best pitcher? Was it Flexen? Was it, Logan? Was it Marco? I mean, kind of run through the pitching aspect of the last few days.
Well, I thought it was actually a very good week. Flexen pitched 2/3 of an inning, 5 innings. YK pitched 6 innings and 5 innings. Logan Gilbert pitched 5 innings. Tyler Anderson pitched 5 innings. Marco pitched 2/3 of an inning as well. Now, I think Marco, he had 3 hits, no runs. Today, YK had 4 hits and no runs. But I thought actually overall, Marco probably pitched better than everybody else, even though he got a no decision in his game. I really believe that our starting pitchers are actually coming around. Yeah, we've had more hits than I would like. Only one time, no, out of our starting pitcher in the entire week, they've only given up 3 runs. That's the most runs they've given up all week, the starting pitchers.
So then it wasn't the pitching. So
No.
Kevin, are we just not getting timely hitting? If you really want to boil it down and take a look, when we have runners on base, are we just not knocking them home?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a couple things that I've been watching. I think the timely hitting's not there, but I also don't fear our lineup.
Right.
I mean, when you look at the Yankees in that lineup, that's a scary lineup. And I even look back at Houston. Houston's got a scary lineup.
Right.
Toronto's got a scary lineup.
Yeah.
We don't. Seattle doesn't really have a scary lineup. I mean, we have a couple guys that can hit home runs, but they're not like monster guys. I mean, we're still in the process of our young guys getting better. Kyle Seager's been hitting. JP, even kind of cooled down. I mean, he's kind of hitting. We got Ty France hitting. Mitch Haniger's hitting. Those guys are our home run guys. Besides that, we don't really have the threats. We don't have Stanton and the Judge and now Gallo. I mean, that's a scary team if they're all hitting.
So yeah, and what that also means is that what we're in right now is gaining these guys some at bats in crucial times, which is going to pay off. Probably not this year. As much and as desperate as we are as Seattle Mariner fans to have a playoff contender this year,
right?
Being in this hunt is probably way more important than the actual being in the wild card game, because this is going to give all of our guys, the Kelnicks, the JP Crawfords, the Toros, all of those, even Kyle Lewis when he comes back,
right?
It's going to give them valuable at-bats in stressful situations, which the only way that you can do that is by being in this race.
Well, and you called it a couple of weeks ago by saying that, look, even if we make it to the playoffs, we're not going very far because we don't have the education or the losses, or can't remember exactly the terminology you used, but you said the experience. That's it. I mean, we don't have the experience that some of these other guys do, and so I really believe that this year will grow some of the experience on these younger guys, and it's going to only make us better. I also believe that our fielding has let our pitchers down a little bit the last week and a half. So unfortunately, there's been a little bit too many errors. People getting mixed up, the double plays not being hit when they should be. So in my opinion, the defense has let us down, let the starting pitching down a little bit. I think the starting pitching could have actually gone further in some of these games if the defense would have been there and done what they normally do. Or the bullpen, who has been phenomenal all year. Yeah, you're going to have some rough outings, but for the most part, they've been very solid. And I think even I was trying to blame it all on the bullpen until but when you're watching these games and that's not the bullpen's fault. That's not the bullpen's fault.
Right.
So some of these games were lost because of fielding issues, in my opinion.
So, okay. So, but we're gaining that experience. We're gaining
gaining that
valuable experience. We're gaining valuable at bats. We're
Yep.
gaining valuable pitching starts. All of these stuff is building these guys for 2022, 2023. Okay, if we're sitting down here in 2022 and 2023 and having these same conversations, then I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. But
Right.
what I think right now is every at bat that they have right now is crucial to the success, to the late success that they're going to have in the next few seasons.
Yeah, and
So
I also want to say the Yankees bullpen.
filthy,
Oh, they were nasty. So
filthy.
yeah, once their starters went out, I don't even know if we scored a run. I mean, we probably did, but I'm just saying. I mean, they were just yeah. I mean,
They're so dirty they should have a triple X rating. I mean,
exactly.
really.
I'm with you.
Yeah. You're with?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, Kevin. So we know that the success of the next couple seasons is coming from the young guys that we promoted up here.
Yes.
So the Kelnicks and all of the guys that are coming. Speaking of coming, we've got the trip through the minors. If you don't mind, Kevin.
Yeah,
let's see what we have coming up.
A quick highlight instead of going on for way too long. So
all right, a quick highlight it is.
Let's go to the Rainiers. So this
Gotcha.
last week we had 4 wins, 2 losses. They're second in their division, 3 games out of first place. They've actually been playing really good ball. I kind of wanted to highlight a couple people real quick. Taylor Trammell and my boy Jose Marmoleos are killing it. So Marmoleos is now at 371 batting average, leading the entire league. He batted 474 last week, 9 for 19. But Taylor Trammell, he hit 9 for 23 with a 391 batting average last week. So he's turning it around himself. So those 2 guys had a great week. But I also want to highlight Brian O'Keefe, who we've talked about. We used to talk about him when he was at the Travelers. He's now with the Rainiers. And in the 21 games since he's been called up, he's batting 282, 5 home runs, 4 doubles, and 6 walks.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty good for a guy that's, I mean, this is the highest he's ever been. He's a solid catcher, and I'm excited for his future as well.
So, Kevin, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
When Marmoleos does come up, what is he projected? What positions is he projected to play?
They got him at first base, and that unfortunately he's right now, what do we do? Ty France is playing first base, and you're not going to move Ty right now. So
Evan White.
Well, Evan White's the future.
Right.
But
Marmoleos isn't exactly old.
No, I see him as a DH. Maybe a backup first baseman.
Gotcha.
I think either Toro or Ty France will move over to third base next year.
Gotcha.
And so then you can either bring White back or you can bring Marmoleos. I'm not sure what position but right now he's a first baseman, and that's pretty much all he is. I know he's played a little bit of outfield, but so as a first baseman, but look at our DHs. They're not hitting 371. I mean, none of those guys are.
That is AAA pitching as well, Kevin.
It is AAA pitching, but if he could come up and hit 300, even 280, 290 as a DH, I'll take that.
Well, let's see what happens, Kevin. Yep. Anything in the Traveler land down there?
Yeah, let's talk about the Travelers. Sorry, switching pages here real quick.
There we go.
Pitchers I wanted to talk about. Matt Brash got called up on July 18th. He's pitched in 4 games. He's got a 1-1 record. He pitched on August 5th, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 8 Ks. His pitching is he's got a 2.18 ERA in Arkansas.
Wow.
Which I said the same thing. Brandon Williamson finally had a great game on the 6th. He went 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 9 Ks. Although he's got a 5.15 ERA, but he actually is turning it around. He's pitching better and better every week. Also, Jack Larson, center fielder, he's batting 347 since the call up. And then David Schaefer, who's the catcher, he batted 389 this last week since he was called up. So those guys are killing it this last week.
Some idiot said that we had worries at catcher. I don't know who that was.
I don't know either. And we even got rid of one of them. And,
Right? All right. Yeah,
you're
still upset on Carter.
So 3 wins, 4 losses last week. I'm sorry. They're still in third place at 44 and 40, but they're 5 games out of first place.
And Julio's still in the Olympics?
Julio's still in the Olympics.
All right. Good to know. All right, Kevin. Everett, I know that they came to Spokane and they've had a long series with Spokane.
Yeah, it hasn't been pretty. 1 win, 4 losses.
Oof.
They're still currently in first place, 52 and 32, or 52 and 30. They're only in first place now by 3.5 games. Couple of highlights, not a lot of highlights, because obviously anybody that was anybody is now in AA.
Gotcha.
But Darrell Gomez, who was our first baseman down there, he's batting 280, and George Kirby pitched on yesterday, 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 2 Ks, and it was the first time he's pitched since July 10th. So he's finally back pitching, and they're going to start stretching him out again. But it was
slowly bringing him along.
Solid 3 innings.
Okay. All right. And then the Nuts.
The Nuts, 2 wins, 3 losses. They're currently third in their division, 43 wins, 40 losses, and they're currently 12 games out of first place.
Oof.
Not a lot of great things. However, Novel Marte this past week went 10 for 22 with a 455 batting average and hit 4 home runs this past week. And James Parker, who was drafted as a shortstop, who is now a third baseman, he was 8th round draft pick this year. Since he was called up July 30th, he's batting 375 in 7 games with 3 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 home run. So
all right.
Congratulations to James Parker, who is 8th round draft pick this year, and he's tearing it up already.
That's a shout out from C-Fan Sports.
That's it.
All right, James. Excellent. All right, Kevin. Well, hopefully we will see some more wins coming up next week. Next week we play a 3-game set against Texas, and then another 3-game set against Toronto, all at home. Whatever you do, people, please, when Toronto's in town, get to the ballpark.
Yes.
I hate hearing Toronto fans in the stands. Now, I'm not advocating violence or anything, but please show up and do not let the Northerners come down and conquer our lands. That's just a little something that I would like to not see.
Yeah.
Kevin, strong rebuttal.
Yeah. I think it's funny to hear the offsetting chants, because the last few years it hasn't been very good for Seattle playing Toronto, but I think this year is going to be very competitive, and I think Seattle's vocal is going to compete against Toronto this year.
Well, I hope so. All right, folks. Well, that's all we have time for today. So join us next week for another edition of Mariner Weekly. We're going to find out whether we make another push in this playoff race. I'm Dave. This is Kevin. Peace.